Today we're going to be talking about routine. Everyone has their own different routine, but we're going to establish or delve into what happens when your routine gets broken. A lot of studies have been done to see how long it takes to form a habit, right? Whether it's a healthy habit or a bad habit. An example, a healthy habit would say, let's say gym, and a negative habit, let's say excessive alcohol usage. Obviously, these are two completely different habits, one being positive for you, one being negative. So what happens when you break the habit? Obviously, all of us are trying to strive to break our, vices, our negative habits, whatever that may be. Everyone has a habit that they are working on improving. For me personally, I know my coffee consumption, caffeine consumption, that is moderate, but it could always be toned down. Just monitoring that to making sure, it doesn't get too out of hand. But there's always, like I said, everyone has their own vices. Whereas a good habit, you want to keep that going, keep that up as much as you can. Unfortunately, the good habits in life sometimes aren't that instant gratification, and so pushing ourselves to do them is where the challenge takes effect, because we're so used to wanting things so quickly now, and when we don't get those things, what happens? We don't want to do it. Pushing ourselves to keep these habits up, and sometimes out of our own comfort zones, is what we all need to strive to do, right? To, once again, leading on from the previous videos, live a fulfilling life. Some people may argue no, but I disagree and say that creating this dopamine and healthy lifestyle is what will lead to a longer and more fulfilling life, because you're allowing yourself to do more, achieve more, feel happier about yourself, outwards and what you're projecting, and inwards and what you're feeling. So I noticed I have a habit where I'm trying to not use my phone in bed at all and get out of bed when I set my alarm, right? And I noticed once you get in this routine, you've done it for, let's say, 2-3 weeks now, and obviously this isn't 66 days, but you're on a good track. As soon as you have that one day there where you wake up an hour later, or you go on your phone that one time, your mind tells you, you've broken it now, why do you carry on doing that habit, that rule? This is where we lose the momentum, right? And I think this is where we feel guilty, because a lot of our habits are broken through this rule breaking after that first time. So you ask yourselves, how do we monitor what we're doing? How do we make sure we're keeping on track? Is to recognize when this has been broken. So for me, for example, with the bed situation, I noticed that I woke up late. And what's been happening since, I've been waking up a little bit late and later. And so how do I combat this? You do it by first recognizing, like most problems, recognizing is the first step. Second problem is tackling it with a level-headed approach and understanding, right, remind yourself why you made yourself have this habit and look at the positives it provided. Almost fight that internal battle where, it's the ego versus the super ego versus the id in psychology. We need to push yourself. I get myself out of comfort zone, back into that routine of being healthy and avoiding my phone usage being too high. This is just one example for me. You may have your own personal uses. These may be found through your own personal life. So what I want this video to shed some light on is just this topic of the routines and what happens when you break that routine and why you should go back into it. It's important that we keep ourselves in check. Keep disciplined. Another video we talked about, I'll link somewhere in the video. But keeping that discipline high and making sure we are living or striving to be the best version of ourselves that we can, feel less guilt-free and keep that momentum going. Because once that momentum is broken, we have to start it up again, and that's the hard bit. It's like, just go to the gym. Once you're at the gym, you do something. But it's about getting to that point is the hardest point. So once you're able to master pushing your mind and body to that point, you'll go quite far with this routine aspect and never really losing momentum. I'm going to leave you with a quote by Braun. I think it's really nice and relevant, obviously, to what we've been talking about. For any movement to gain momentum, it must start with a small action.